Perfect. So, okay. So we are going. So Ruth and I were talking, and we were talking about how important structure is, especially when you have so much information coming at you at so many different avenues. We have our big team page. We have the leaders page. We have our own personal development and growth. And developing structure and kind of putting a plan in place to help us move forward. And this is kind of, I'm really excited about some of the things that we have going on, and excited to share with you tonight kind of some of the things that we see that we want to implement in our team. And so just kind of, talking about the theme, moving forward in more ways than one. Moving forward from now, how are we going to be looking at things? How can we teach you to help duplicate down to your teams? And then, different focuses. Where is the best place and area to put our focus? Because at the end of the day, besides having amazing products that work and we're changing lives, the way that we're going to continue moving forward and grow our business is by having our focus be consistent on things that are important, activities that are important, and also income producing activities. Those activities that are going to be reaching out and following up, and how can we keep and hold ourselves accountable in all of those. Ruth, do you have anything to add as far as our intro?
I mean, I think, you said it beautifully, but the key to this business and in getting the momentum that we all need and that we have felt at times in spurts, but in getting that and having us all push that boulder up the hill at the same time, so our momentum all going in the same direction, is to get on the same page with our activities. And I think that is something that, up to this point, we've all, it's interesting. I was talking to one of our team members earlier this week, and she was saying, I feel like I'm on an island by myself. And I'm like, I totally get that feeling. And I feel like we need to really hone in on making us all feel like we're doing the same things at the, you are going to work at your own pace for sure. But if we have our focus on in the same place, all of us each month, then it's going to help all of that go faster. And we're going to get that unstoppable momentum that once it gets going, we can't do anything to stop it. And we're all seeing better success and more consistent, growth. So that's our purpose in trying to put some structure around our activities, is so we all grow and we all see the success and change as many lives as we can, including our own. So,
well, and with that, Ruth, do you want to start? If you want to, you can start kind of on the monthly focus that we have kind of as our first bullet point. And then after that, I can move into the IPA challenge group.
Yeah. So one of the things that we really felt like would be beneficial is if we took a skill, like one skill per month, and just had that as our focus. I think that sometimes when we have weekly challenges, if we hit a busy week and we miss it, we feel like, we missed the boat and we don't know how to get caught back up. So we're going to kind of, slow the pace on the number of things that we're trying, the number of things that we're focusing on to, just a few things. And we've put together a graphic, which is going to be, each month it'll show what our focus is, what our IPAs are going to be. It'll have our list of what our, really our top of mind, everything will be, our focus and our movement will be for the month. So for February, for example, Nicole and I were talking, and if you guys were able to watch the call that I did with Leslie a couple weeks ago, one of the things that she talked about was the very intentional conversations that she has when she goes out in public. And so that, I think, is going to be our focus for February. And it's going to be, and we can take notes and actually write down exactly what she said is in her little system, but she always wears swag when she goes out. She's got a business card and a packet of Slim in her purse, and she does not go home until she gets that given to somebody. And, she gave the example of going to the pet store and striking up a conversation with a little girl and her mom and just talking and, just getting to know them, and nothing about Plexus at the time. And then as she, starts to leave, she kind of turns around. She says she does this the same every single time. She knows how the conversation's going to go because she's the one controlling it. So she turns around and she says, "You've been so nice. I'm growing a business in this area, and I would love to give you my business card in case you know anybody that is pre-diabetic, diabetic, struggles with migraines, GI issues, autoimmune trouble. I'm trying to help as many people as possible." And every time she says, the person will say, "Of course, give me your business card." And so she'll do that. And she'll say, "I actually have a sample. Would you like to try it?" And they'll usually say, "Yeah, that'd be great." And she'll say, "If you promise to try it, I promise to follow up." And she gets out her phone to Facebook right there. So it's a really, simple, probably 5 minutes from start to finish thing that she leaves growing her Facebook audience. And then, from there we can talk about that. But I think that's going to be our focus for February. And we were talking about, having that be one a week that you do, being intentional and going out, if it's at the grocery store or the pet store, wherever you are shopping, having that, be something that you have top of mind. You're going to do that. And before you come home, that's what you're going to accomplish. So that's kind of what we're thinking our February skill is going to be. I'd love to know if you guys have anything to add to that or have any thoughts on that. I know it's terrifying. The first time you're probably going to wet your pants, but afterwards it will get easier. Did I cover it pretty much, Nicole?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think in addition to what the focus is on for the month, you can still be doing, it's very important to still make sure you're doing your, however much time you have during the day, whether that's 15 minutes or an hour, you can still make sure you're doing, the 5-3-1 method, the reach out to 5 people, follow up with 3 people, and reach out to an ambassador or a teammate or do something with personal growth. This is just something so that I know that I am so guilty of, as I see information, I want to get as much out to you guys so that I feel like you're not missing the boat. But I know sometimes it can be really overwhelming, especially for people that are working full time and then they're logging into Facebook and I might have posted 8 things. Like I realize that I might be a super poster and I always want to get so many things out there. And sometimes that can be overwhelming, and kind of like what Ruth said, it can almost make you feel like, well, I can't keep up. I'm not going to look at the notifications. I'm not going to be able to do this. This is just too much. And I don't want it to feel like that for you, because this is your own time and this is your own pace and it is your own journey. So I think that by having something to focus on and being able to walk away every day and say, look what I did today, like check that off, it's going to feel good. And you might, I think if you do not have business cards, make sure that you order your business cards. I think that is just crucial. Now, I know that having a business card and putting it into somebody's hand, on the flip side, it's really important to make sure that you're trying to find and locate that person on social media before you leave. Because, let's face it, they might not always take the business card and be like, oh, I'm going to go search for them. So you want to make sure that you put the initiative and search for them, or have their approval to add them on social media, on your Facebook page or Instagram or whatever it is that you're using. So yeah, Ruth, I think that that's a great job. And so that's just an example of February. I mean, we're going to really sit down and map it out so that way you can have a game plan, an action plan that you're like, okay, well, this is what this month is. This is what March looks like, what April looks like. And we're going to try to gear it around what really is an important focus that time, but also to make you uncomfortable, to try to make you uncomfortable so that you do grow, and that it starts becoming comfortable, because I think that's a really good confidence booster. And once you start talking to people about Plexus that you don't know, it's going to become a second nature for you to just talk about it and share about the opportunity and the products that we have. So I think does anybody have any questions or any feedback on that? Or do you like kind of that idea of having that one particular focus in addition to what you're doing on a daily basis?
I really do. I feel like it'll give us a chance to practice that skill and really get comfortable with it. And I also think sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger than it is to somebody that you know. So I really do like that focus idea. Instead of trying to do 10 things not that great, at least do 1 or 2 things really, really well and then move on to something else. I really like that, and it's less overwhelming to me.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And that's how we want to make sure that you're not overwhelmed with information. I mean, you know, as long as you keep going and moving forward, there's always going to be new information, and you just take it in stride and do what you can. But the last thing that I want to feel is that people are feeling that they can't keep up, or that they're overwhelmed, or this is just too much, because that's, you know, not what it's intended for at all. So, and I really like Kelly's, you know, she was just in Hawaii. For those of you that didn't see her post, brilliant. Leaving a note for the housekeepers and her business card. I mean, that was awesome, Kelly. So I think that's a really good example.
Thanks, guys. Leaving the note was way less scary than talking to somebody, but someone took one. So the downside is I didn't get their name, so follow-up will be hard, but maybe they'll reach out. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I think that's a great idea. And this kind of leads me into the next bullet point, the IPA challenge group. So again, income producing activities, they are so important. And I think that I definitely still get a little bit confused about what is IPA and what is not considered IPA. You know, things that I used to think that were IPA was talking about the compensation plan or learning about the compensation plan myself. It's not IPA. It's personal growth, which is absolutely important, but it's a completely separate bucket than what IPA is. Having a plan each day and writing down that plan or your goals is going to help you stay on track and, again, for success. We're calling this, and this is just specific for our team, rank up by convention. I didn't want to put a specific rank up, what rank, because I think that, again, this is your own pace, your own journey. But whatever it is that you're dreaming about, you know, continue that dreaming big, because there is nobody telling you that you can't get to where you want to go by convention time at all, wherever that may be. But this is the intention for this, is to keep yourself accountable. It's going to be not to bog you down with another group, but this is going to be a rank up by convention. We are going to map out an IPA every single day starting February 1st until convention comes in June. So this is going to be a group where, you know, you can write it down as one of your action items every single day to go to this group, find out what the IPA is. And it's not going to be something that's going to be super overwhelming and many, many, many steps, but it's going to be something that's an income producing activity, and that it's going to be a task for you, one per day. And I think that that's going to be good, and it's going to make yourself accountable, and we'll have, you know, some incentives as well as giveaways and different things like that. But this is going to be a very fun, learning, interactive, but something that's really going to help you succeed and save you the time. You know, if you have 15 minutes, I don't want you to spend those 15 minutes trying to figure out who you're going to reach out to, or trying to figure out what you're going to be doing for that income producing activity that day. I want to make it easy for you to just visit this group, check out what it is that day, get it done, and then just do it. I think that trying to find out, I watched one of Melissa Eichenhorst's videos, and I love this. She said, if you could find 2 extra hours per week, find out something that you would consider a time waster. And for me, and I didn't think about it as a time waster because it was my guilty pleasure, I loved reading People magazines and Us Weekly. Loved. Both subscriptions to both magazines. It would be my thing. I don't read those anymore, and I actually canceled my subscriptions because I wanted to take that time that I was reading those, that it really wasn't going to help me grow, and take those 2 extra hours per week and put them toward my Plexus business. And this could be something where it's maybe you're not giving something up. Maybe you're getting up an hour early extra one day a week, or going to bed an hour after you normally would go to bed. So identify what you would consider your time wasters are for right now, and try to eliminate them, and maybe create a little bit more time in your day so that you could have a little bit more in addition to the IPA group, whatever that task may be for that day. Maybe you want to take it a step further and do something else on your own, but maybe help determine what you feel like those time wasters are. When I went to visit Jen in Denver, like a year and a half ago, she said, she's like, I don't listen to the radio anymore. I just don't. I'm constantly, if I'm in the car, you know, if I have my kids, it's a different story, but if I'm in the car, it's a personal growth. It's some type of message, some type of book on tape, something that I'm listening to, that I'm learning and growing from. And I really liked that. I liked that idea because I think it's just kind of a constant, not to say that, you have to have something to kind of help escape and break away, but just find something to help create a little bit more time in your day, and help make IPA a priority, because I promise you, when you do, that's when things are going to happen. And that's when you're going to make new relationships and grow your network and meet new people and get out there. That's what it's really all about. So this challenge is to really just give you a goal and a daily activity, and to help you meet where you want to go and meet you where you're at. So again, this will start February 1st, and there is another sideline sister Ruby ambassador. Her name's Ashley Frary, and she's going to be kind of implementing this into her own team, but we're kind of building this together and creating something that we think that will be really, really helpful for you. But it's going to be, hopefully make it easier for you at the end to share the opportunity with people, to follow up with people, and to just kind of, if you feel like you've been stuck in your own way, trying to figure out what you can do every single day, this is going to help you kind of push through that barrier. So the one thing I will say, and I'm going to, a little bit more will come out of this on the team page. There's going to be an entryway into, normally in a group, you just say me, and then you're added into the group. But to be able to get entered and added to this group, I want you to state your why. I want you to, whether it's going to be in a video or just written out. I think that when we share our why and share our story, especially with all of us as equals and as a team, when we know what it is that, why you're wanting to do this and why you're doing this and what it is that's important to you, I think that helps us to get to know you even that much more on a completely deeper level. So sharing your why is going to be what's required to get you added to this IPA challenge. So think about that. Think about, how you want to deliver that. But I think that that's going to be great to learn about each other, and it's constantly changing. So Ruth may think that she knows my why, but maybe my why has changed since she knows, and it's going to be a better way to connect with all of us and to help us reach where we want to go. So that's a little bit about the IPA challenge. Do you guys have any questions on that? Nope. All right. I think I'm really excited about this one. So Ruth, do you want to talk about the welcome process?
Yes, you bet. So, a couple months ago, we rolled out a new welcome process for our ambassadors. Anyone that we add to our team, whether they're there for wholesale pricing, whether they're there to get their own products paid for, or whether they're there to become a diamond someday. This is an across the board, anytime you add a brand new ambassador, our welcome process. So we've kind of, we've added one small step to that on the end of that, but I just want to make sure that, in February, that's another thing that we're really focusing on and getting good at. So anytime we're adding a brand new ambassador, you are taking your new ambassador and you're starting a 3-way Facebook chat with the new ambassador and your sponsor. And you are introducing the two of them, how you know each other, or how you know each person so they can connect. And then your sponsor will take over. And if you have not made your welcome video yet, that's something that you would want to put on your list to do as well. We have a script for that. The sponsor then sends their welcome video to the new person. Welcome to our team. So excited to have you. Please take a look at this welcome video. Get your welcome call set up on that 3-way chat. So you guys have, a time set aside to actually speak over the phone and get to know each other. There is a kind of a script for that call as well. It really just involves you asking questions and listening, asking them what their health goals are, what their, I always ask their interest level on a scale of 1 to 10 in working the business. It is not so I can pressure them. It's so I can best support them in whatever facet that they are here in the beginning. And so the thing that we're adding to that is going to be that if they are at a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on that scale, then you'll go ahead and get their launch event scheduled. This is key if you're in town with the person. It's something that you will go to their home. We are not a party-driven company, but I have seen the power of these, especially when somebody is starting. Their friends and family are excited and want to support them. So invite everyone over. It's, again, not a pressure event, but we kind of have a script for this event as well. And it's basically just a conversation in a living room. Everyone kicks off their shoes and talks. There's light snacks. And it's just a conversation about, the top 10 health concerns that people have. And, however then the conversation leads, you really only talk about the triplex and X Factor. And then, it's just, there's kind of a magic that happens at those events. So that's something that I think is going to be key for our new ambassadors that have, an interest in working the business, because from that they can get a handful of customers, hopefully a couple of ambassadors, and get a paycheck in their hand right away. That's the key to retention with these people, is showing them how easy and quickly they can start making money with Plexus. So that's kind of our welcome process. We'll be, kind of fleshing this out as the month goes on and talking about it on future team calls and putting documents out there, scripts and things. But that's the welcome process that we really want you guys to get firmly in place, and know that you have no questions when you sign a brand new ambassador. This is the process you take them through. So that.
Yeah, I think that's great. And the welcome video that Ruth was talking about, I mean, this is basically intended so let me use Ruth as an example. If Ruth signs Susie, Ruth would start a 3-way message with herself, Susie, and myself. And then I would answer the 3-way message, tell a little bit about my story and testimonial, and send my welcome video to Ruth's level 1. So it's really my level 2, but I'm welcoming Ruth's level 1. So the welcome video that you are going to be creating is going to be for your level 2s. So you're personally, like Kelly, if you personally sponsor someone, I will be sending that welcome video to them. But when that person sponsors someone, you're going to be sending that welcome video to that person, if that makes sense. So it's just a really great process. I know that Ruth had really powwowed with Diamond Ambassador Jacqueline Stanley, and says, like, for her team that kind of implements a process, she can really tell if somebody's doing the process or not doing the process. And I think, again, this helps with retention. I mean, I think they say that, the most critical time frame for a new ambassador is the first 24 to 48 hours. I mean, they feel lost. If you remember how you felt when you joined, you feel like, okay, I'm really excited, but I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, if we can get somebody on the phone right away, wholesale ambassador or interested in the business, either way, it doesn't matter. They're on our team and they're here for a reason, but we want to make sure they're getting started off on the right track with their products, how they take them. I just did one of these calls with Mary Henderson and one of her newer ambassadors, and it was great. She felt, you could just tell from the time we started talking to the time we ended, she had this so much more of a comfort level and excitement and enthusiasm. And when they hear your enthusiasm, it's going to trickle down into them, because if you don't talk to them right away and really get, explain what this is and what we're all about, there are more times than none we're gonna lose them because it's something that they're like, well, I tried it, but I'm not really. They don't feel like they're a part of something, and that's what we are. We want them to feel like they're a part of our team, whether they're here for the best deal or to go to the top. So I think this process has been working really well, and it was a piece that we were missing for such a long time. We grow very quickly. We're a team that adds a lot of people every month, and it's so exciting. But that can be a little overwhelming, and then they're lumped into a whole big group, and we lose them. So this is going to be something. Again, we'll put the script, we'll post it. It's really easy to, it's long, but it doesn't feel like, I actually had it on my phone, put it up on my computer and recorded myself, but it's as long as it don't sound like you're reading it, it does come natural. And most of the time you kind of know this stuff anyway, so you can kind of go back and forth. But if you need any help or want to record it and send it to someone for their for our advice on whether or not that's going to be your video, let us know. We'll be happy to help. But make that on your to-do list to record that welcome video as soon as possible, because as your team grows, you'll want to definitely be able to implement and send on.
Yep. And that welcome video is really just the nuts and bolts of how the back office works, how much they need to have in personal volume or in sales in order to be commission qualified, explaining that their own orders count as well. It's a lot of that housekeeping stuff that if we were to get on a welcome call, I would be talking the whole time and not listening. And so it kind of gets all that stuff out of the way. So they have a video so they can go back and refer, gosh, what'd she say about this? They can go back and refer to it as many times as they need to. So it's a great thing to have in video format because they just have the information there at their disposal whenever they need it. And then that conversation on the phone can really just be more getting to know them and making them feel part of our team, like Nicole said. So it's been working great. And I literally took word for word what Jacqueline Stanley, Diamond Ambassador here in Kansas City, said on hers. And that's how I scripted it. That's how I did mine. That's how Nicole did hers. That's duplication. It's not copying. It's duplication. That's the beauty of this business. So
yeah. And speaking of retention, we wanted to talk about customer retention and just the process of what we feel like is missing. Right now, most of you probably know, and if you don't, we have a customer group that anybody on our team, if they have somebody order, we add them to a Facebook group called Plexus Journey to Health. That is our own personal customer page where we can post things from corporate or put things on. And Carly had created that and started that. And I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was, when you have a customer, it's kind of you can follow up with them and call them or email them, but we want to also have a place for them to go to where they feel involved and a part of us as well. So we were talking and really thought about taking it up a notch, ranking it up. So we have this Belly Buster Challenge group going on right now, and I think it's gotten so much activity and so much involvement, but we were talking about having a group for customers to where we have something weekly, where we have an ambassador weekly dedicated to do a Wellness Wednesday. A quick 5 to 7 minute video about a wellness tip and maybe sharing their testimonial. Something along those lines, but it to be interactive. Also maybe in this customer group, doing a product highlight of the month. Talking about, making sure that they understand about the upgrade process, about what the difference is between being a customer to an ambassador. I think that this is a big missing piece of also the puzzle for the customers, because these customers that sign us preferred customers, they could be your next rock star on your team, your next power partner. We want to make sure that we're kind of hand-holding them and coddling them in a way of keeping them in the know, but also keeping them and feeling like they're cared about. We also talked about, and I love this, was a monthly Q&A Zoom call for customers. And whether that's one person that joins in that call or no people that join in that call or 50 people who join in that call, we are dedicated to a certain day on a certain time for a quick half an hour to answer questions from our customers, just to keep them involved and to make sure that they are understanding and answer any questions that they have. Because if you think about it, they don't have the Plexus Ambassador Support Group page to go to. They don't have that access to ask any questions. They can ask you, but they might already feel like they're already, way past that point and they just kind of quit and give up, or we want to make sure we're troubleshooting with them and guiding them along to hopefully upgrade them at the end of the day to become ambassadors and then add new customers into that group. So this is kind of still a work in progress. I don't know if it will be a completely new group or if we'll just take Plexus Journey to Health and upgrade that. But I really think that customer focus needs to be kind of a key in this. And that way, when you have somebody join, they just don't feel like they're kind of like what Ruth said in the beginning also, on an island by themselves, because that's definitely not the way that we want to make them feel at all. So we'll kind of dive into this, but we just wanted to give you a little bit of our ideas on a new customer retention process. And then Ruth, do you want to talk about, I know one of them said mass communicate, like communicate phone versus social media.
Yeah, I mean, and I think this kind of goes into, our last point too, and that's just, being in contact with people. And, I'm guilty of it too. And it's one of my, resolutions in my business this year is to pick up the freaking phone, you guys. It is such a lost art. We are so used to, and it's so much easier to just shoot them a Facebook message. And even leaving a Facebook voice note, which is great, which I think is a lot better than just a Facebook written message. They can hear the tone of your voice. Actually leaving them a voice message or catching them, on their phone. It's so funny because, I never answer my phone if I don't know the number. And I'm sure you guys are, and everybody's that way. You're screening all the time. If you don't have that number programmed into your phone, you don't answer it. You might send them a quick text ahead of time. Don't forget, in your back office, you have all their information. So you have email, you have phone number. Go in there and get their phone number. Program. It may be a part of your, system when you get a new customer or new ambassadors. Go ahead and put them in your phone so you have their phone number, and send them a quick text and say, hey, I'm going to call you at noon today to check in. Hope you're well. And then they'll know at noon when a number comes up, they don't know that it's you. If they can't get it, fine, leave them a voice message. But, I think that's definitely something that if we can get back to those personal interactions, that's going to help. That's only going to help us. And kind of going into this ordering under 100 PV. Do you want me to just go ahead and close?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think there's 35 so far on our team, which is we'll get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think it's frustrating for us, to look, and happy, of course, that anyone's ordering any products that they're liking and taking consistently. But when you have somebody that's ordering, $89 in personal volume, and you're like, $11 and I could count them, it's hard. So I think, having maybe a system for at the end of the month, like saying, okay, on the 25th of every month, put it in your phone, remind you, white lined people or less than 100 PV. White lines don't mean as much anymore because they don't have to have a backup order in place in order for them to count. All they have to have is that 100 PV. So they could have their backup order turned off, still put in a manual order for, whatever dollar amount. So white lines are just what we call those people that are not at 100 PV yet. Just to decode that. So I think that those people are prime to, reach out to and let them know at the end of every month, whatever promotion we have going on. For example, the 60-day trim up, letting them know if you're running a personal promotion at the end of the month. Little secret, I do free shipping the last week of every single month. And I just reach out to everyone I've been talking to that month. And I'm like, hey, free shipping through the 29th tonight. Mine is 10 o'clock tonight. And if they get their order in by then I was paying their shipping for them. So, those are the things that you can do, I think, just consistently every month. Put it on your, just your monthly to do, one day a month, and just knock them out. If you've got 5, if you've got 10, if you've got 1, just, again, reaching out to them and including them in whatever you have going on. I always like to say, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but, go for your lowest hanging fruit. Like, what is hanging out there? I mean, you've got customers that already love your products. If they've been, if you know that they love them and they're going to keep going, upgrade them as quick as you can to ambassador. I mean, that should be a revolving door between your customers and your, your team. So those are the things that I think we're kind of focusing on implementing in this brand new year that we have, that we're looking at, and really getting some cohesive momentum all in the same direction. Because, we have got all the right people and players in place here. It is just a matter of getting that common direction and all moving together toward it. So do you want to close out?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that, with those people, if you go to your genealogy report from your back office, and if you go to tools and then reports and go to genealogy report, you will see, and if just, to take a mental note, write down those people that are under 100 PV, and you can have those people on your list to reach out to. One thing that I will say that I always forget is that if there is a product that they've never tried, there's a 60-day money-back guarantee on that product. So if you have an ambassador that's at, let's say, 80 PV, ask them if they've ever tried Block. Send them information on Block. If they've never tried Block or any product that they've never tried, they will have that 60-day money-back guarantee on that product. I forget that. I always think it's from their initial big order.
Been a customer for 8 or 10 months.
Right.
Any new product they try, each product has a 60-day money-back guarantee. This was new information to me. I think I learned it when you told me.
Mm-hmm. So if you're doing an incentive like what Ruth offered, you know, like if you're doing free shipping and they're going to try Block, it's a win-win for them, because they're going to try a product risk-free that if they don't like, they'll get their full money back. It will make them active. It will make them re-engaged again. But then they're also not covering the shipping costs. And now some of you might ask, like, how do you do that? Well, some people do it through PayPal, or I'm old school and send like physical checks or cash. But these are just really good tips and ideas. But we want to make sure we're not telling you to focus completely on those ambassadors that have gone inactive, but it's always really good to make sure that they're still in your network of people that you're dripping on and that you're dropping in, because they started it for a reason. They were here for a reason. Maybe re-engage with them and ask them about what their health goals are and if they have changed or how you can help them. They're not going to get mad at you for reaching out. The worst thing that they can tell you is that they're just not interested anymore, which is, that's okay. Go for the no. So I know we have less than 1 minute, and without getting cut off, hopefully you guys found this a little helpful. We'll kind of map this out and write it down in an agenda, and we'll also post the welcome video script for you to see. But I'm really excited about what this looks like moving forward, and having a structure in place and a focus to where it can be not overwhelming for you all. So
Awesome.
Hopefully you found it helpful too. Perfect. Do you guys have any questions? No? All right. Have a good Sunday night, guys.
Bye,
Thanks
guys.
so much. Thanks for everything.
Bye, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.